Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, and welcome to another long-awaited episode of Inside Veterans Affairs. It has been a long time since I've been able to get my Sunday show going because the weather right now where I am in the panhandle of Florida, it's bipolar and mostly polar. Every time I get ready to do my Sunday show, I end up with an afternoon shower that kills off my ability to get a signal out. Anyway, so we got a few things to catch up on. It's been a while. It's been almost a month waiting to get this show going. And I decided to go early because, the sniffles thing has our store still on restricted hours. And I need to make a mad dash to the grocery store to get a few things like coffee creamer for the wife, because if we wake up in the morning and there's no coffee creamer, I am liable to have either be wearing the coffee or perhaps be used as an experiment in our vegetable shredding machine so that, I will not longer exist. So it's that important, and we will be doing that here this evening as soon as we get done bringing you the news. Today is the Army's birthday. Happy damn birthday, Army. That's my brothers and sisters. So, unfortunately, nobody that I know of in the Army has sent me any cake. So that's depressing in itself. But what can you do? Anyway, let me wave my hand at you folks. I see a bunch of you already jumping in here. Deidre got in here. Diane, how you doing? 12B Georgia's already pre-offended this evening, so that cuts down on my work. That's a good thing. Margot, good to see you as always. PDX, Donnie Newman. Look at there, PDX again. Deidre Baker. And get up here, Eric Chenault's in here. Charles Wright, welcome. Deidre Baker again. Look at there, there's 12B again. Angel Lawrence is in the house. Welcome. Carmageddon. It's getting close. How you doing? I know that one dirty rotten imbecile snuck in here first thing before we got going, and Wolf Stonehenge jumped in the house. Good to see everybody. Charles Wright again. There you are. We are the home of the brave and apparently the restrained. Shanty Chauffeur Bear dropped a diamond already on me over there on D-Live. Thank you very much for that. Ken Nicely's over there, and Soylent Green jumped in the house. All right. So without any of that ado or a don't, I want to get on to the VA news. I could literally do an entire show on the VA news because so much has happened in the last month, but I'm going to do what I can to abbreviate so that I can get to other news that's important as well. Open that up just a little bit there. I wanted to start out one of these articles here just because it's near and dear to my partner in crime, is the unions that are involved with the VA. Miss Belinda has a personal mission to put an end to that. So I want to open this up and see what they got to say about the union, because when you have a union, it's very, very difficult to fire anybody because the union protects them. So people that completely screw up don't end up losing their job. And I'm still waiting on that page to come up. Here it comes. Skywatcher, welcome. CSD UFO updates. Hey, how are you? Let's see here. Come on. There it is. All right. Now we're in business. Says White House order to end union subsidies, expands clinical space for veterans, nets $1.4 million for taxpayers. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs announced today that it has expanded clinical and office space for service veterans by more than 150,000 square feet while saving taxpayers more than 1.4 million annually. The expansion and savings are the result of the VA implementation of the May 2018 executive order. Boy, it took a long time to implement that, I'm going to say. The executive order, which prohibits free or discounted use of government property for union businesses. Yeah, see, unions got away with freebies, so I'm all about this. VA notified more than 330 local bargaining units that late last year that under President Trump's order, they would be required to either vacate VA property or begin paying rent for any VA-owned office space that was being used for union business. I'm not totally anti-union. I'm a little anti the way unions do things because people are allowed to screw up endlessly, but because they're part of the union, they're totally protected. And that's the problem I have with unions. There's no need to have, people screwing up on a daily basis and still, huh? Matthew. Oh, good to see you, brother. Welcome. Anyway, so I wanted some regulations put on these unions because they kind of run amok amongst the VA. It's a government organization, the Veterans Affairs, and it's protected by technically a private union. I think there's a conflict in there, and I'm just not terribly in favor of that. And Penny keeps wanting to move my other monitor so I can give her attention, so she's trying to turn it so I can't read anything. But anyway, so it says in the first quarter of fiscal year 2020, employees spent 135,000 hours in official time. See, that's the other thing. They're doing union stuff on official business time. So they're being paid dues to this union. They're getting free real estate to have their offices or whatever it is. And then they're having people that are on the dime of the government doing union activities during their business hours. These are the problems I have with it. But it says, the second quarter of fiscal year 2020 ended in March saw a 56% drop in just 59,000 hours of official time were logged by VA employees. Faced with the prospect of paying fair market rent for the VA space they had been using for free, 244 local bargaining units notified VA they plan to vacate the premises. Imagine that. They don't want to have to pay for the services. Makes me wonder if they were actually doing this to help the VA employees or if they were doing this to maybe financially back themselves. Government mandated racketeering. Hello, DM and Frank Morrell. Welcome, you guys. Good to see you. Please pray for our U.S. Navy and U.S. Marines in the South China Sea. Huey, I absolutely will, because I know that things are heating up over there. 2 battle groups were just deployed. We're going to hear some more about that here in a few minutes, I think. But anyway, so let me drop that while I get this page backed up, because you guys don't need to look at the rendering. You can look at the side of my face and see if I've got any earwax in my ear while I'm looking at my other monitor, because I have a TV tray as my entire studio, and my other monitor is obviously off to the side. All right, let's see what else we got here. It says VA to begin a legal process of replacing 3 German POW headstones. VA announced today that it will initiate the process required by law to replace 3 German prisoners of war headstones in national cemeteries in Texas and in Utah. So that's interesting. Also, the VA names new national cemetery in rural Wyoming. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, announced today Cheyenne National Cemetery for the name of the new VA National Cemetery in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So that's good. And I don't know if you guys saw, but some dumbass protester, as they call them, I call them rioters. Hey, see, good to see you. Hondo, welcome. Ran into a veteran cemetery and broke over a bunch of stones and stuff. So the president announced that his next quarterly pay will be going directly to that cemetery for the purpose of rebuilding those stones and replacing them. I mean, that's just some really sick shit, but that's me. Also, the president just happens to have a birthday today, so make sure you guys yell out "Happy Birthday" as loud as you can so he can help hear it. Sunshine Times, good to see you. Welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Anyway, would you stop moving my monitor? If I had a camera over here, I'd catch you in the act. All right. Let's see. And the cat comes in for the rescue. VA, Bristol Myers Squibb Foundation, Schwib Foundation delivers cancer care to veterans via technology. This one I'm opening because I want to see what they've got going on. Because to my knowledge, you still have to have some kind of physical contact to treat cancer, and technology all by itself not necessarily going to work 100%. Where did I go? Come on now. Oh, there I am. So let's try that again. See if we can get it to come up. There it is. Still waiting for the screen. Boy, the computer demons are against me today because they don't want me to talk about this stuff. Everything's slow. All right, so it says here, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs today announced it is teaming with Bristol Myers Squibb. We want your feedback. You're slow. The foundation to build a new program to enable VA oncology specialists to provide veterans access to precision cancer care regardless of where they live. Already sounds like an interesting trick. They're going to drop it out of the sky with darts, shoot the medication into people. It says here the foundation is committed to providing VA $4.5 million in grant funds over 3 years to help establish National Technology Center to more effectively reach veterans living in rural communities. The VA Center for Strategic Partnerships facilitated the grant, which will utilize VA's telehealth infrastructure, allowing veterans access to technology platforms under the foundation's Global Cancer Disparities Initiative. This will offer genetic counseling to veterans who undergo sequencing and afford veteran oncology patients a range of potentially life-saving clinical trials. Even if they live in a distance away, the VA Medical Center veterans enrolled in the VA healthcare are 2.5 times more likely to live in rural areas where access, specifically care, is limited. All right, so we're already establishing that care is limited when you're rural, but we need to know how the hell they're going to do this. Let's see. Delivering innovative solutions through virtual care technologies is vital, said the Secretary Robert Wilkie. The VA Bristol Myers Squibb Foundation partnership will build on Veterans Health Administration's recent telehealth expansion to establish a leading-edge hub for technology, which will serve as a model for oncology specialists to every healthcare system. All right. I'm still as puzzled as you are. How are we going to do that? The program will support the delivery of the best in-class care education practice in collaboration with VA's. You going to make it? Poor thing. Collaboration with VA's existing precision oncology initiative, which has had dramatic impact for some veterans and will now be available to all veterans with advanced cancer. The foundation will work with the VA to accelerate the growth of technology, said Bristol Myers Foundation President John L. Diamante, by developing, implementing, and standardizing workflow process This project will expedite the expansion of the model for delivering specialized oncology care in a virtual setting. I'm just not seeing how they're going to do this. Or you know, that's going to be one I'm going to look into a little bit, because what are they going to do? Stand at the computer and go, "You have cancer. We're going to make you feel better. Thank you. Thank you very much." No, it doesn't work like that. Cindy Duff, how you doing? It's also President Trump's birthday today. Yep, just said happy birthday to President Trump. Yep. Truth Seeker, welcome. Pete the Patriot in the house. Hey, brother, Frank Morrell is in there still. I got you 2 thumbs up. Yeah, make sure you hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please take a minute and follow me on my DLive account. Watch for the links to be dropped by my moderators, and we will see you over there for sure. I'm amazed that my video yesterday was still up as of today. I'm just astonished, because I kind of went after the anti-Americans, the Antifa. But anyway, we'll just see how long it stays there. All right, so we'll go through these real quick. There's just a few more here. VA National Cemeteries resumed committal and memorial services halted by the COVID-19 pandemic. They better, after that fiasco with the Floyd funeral. A lot of people are really annoyed with that. They couldn't say goodbye to their loved ones because of the sniffles, but then they had this nationwide funeral for a guy that, died months ago. But that's not even important right now. We're on VA issues. But VA study finds transition assistance program worldwide. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs released today results of a first long-term study aimed at determining the effectiveness of the VA transition assistance program and its impact on veterans and their civilian life. Now, there's been a lot of cry out for this, because it's very clear that all of a sudden one day you're on the battlefield, you are defending your life and allowing others the opportunity to die for their country. And then the next afternoon, you're at your dinner table sitting down to eat with family, and there's no off switch. Hey, Prop, it's good to see you. So these transition programs are really, really important. You have to have some way to decompress, to learn how to put certain things aside after you've come home. And that off switch, I'm going to tell you, is sometimes really hard to find. Some of these people really have a hard time with it. But anyway, I'm waiting for this to open here. I want to see if we can wait another 15 minutes for it to come. Oh, look at that. It popped right up. All right, so I want to look into this VA transition assistance study. The results were released on I think the 12th. June 12th, the results were released. The 2019 Post-Separation Transition Assistance Program Assessment, PSTRAP, or PSTAP, Outcome Study Report, and Appendices. All right, commissioned by the Veterans of Benefits Administration, outlined the results from the first year of a multi-year study. Designed to assess what derives veteran satisfaction in TAP, the study identified how best to improve veterans' experience and the delivery of benefits and services, ultimately improving their long-term outcome across various aspects of their lives. Service members transitioning to civilian life have served our country well, said VA Secretary Wilkie. It is important for the VA to know what our veterans want and need to make this transition successful. The study provides invaluable feedback which can use to make the TAP program even more beneficial. Cross-sectional surveys were created to get feedback in response to the research. It looks at service members' transition in 3 groups: Veterans separated for 6 months, those separated for 1 year, and those separated for 3 years. The survey uses data from these groups to obtain feedback annually while tracking transition outcome success of those who opt into the long-term study. The 2019 survey results revealed the majority of veterans found TAP courses beneficial. Good. The TAP VA benefits briefings received an 85% positive rating and were deemed most useful by respondents. Most respondents, 67%, said they adjusted well to civilian life after separation, are making progress towards their post-military goals, and generally employed in full-time permanent positions. Many veterans, 70%, felt the transition was challenging with an array of causes, including nostalgia for the camaraderie and teamwork they experienced in the military. Yeah, that's going to be one of the things, but obviously when you put your life in the hands of somebody else, there's a brother or sisterhood that is created that can't be matched by anything else on the planet. So when you're separated from the military and all of your brothers and sisters are basically still at home, so to speak, then yeah, that can be difficult because all the people that you know and you trusted the most, they're all of a sudden they're not part of your life anymore. And so that part's difficult. The biggest thing though is, like I say, the combat light switch. It doesn't just turn off. It doesn't work that way. There has to be a decompression. There has to be a period of de-escalation of your mindset so that you're ready for the next phase. Because when you're fighting for your life and you're getting shot at, you have a level of aggression that forms in you. That aggression can be triggered by sometimes the smallest things, and that's what needs to be learned how to be adjusted to, is to kind of put that aggression away a little bit when you need to, when it's not appropriate. And this transition thing sounds like it could work. I have to keep an eye on that one. The VA Health IT innovation received high marks for impact on veterans' lives. Okay. The Video Connect visits increased 1,000% during the sniffles pandemic because they had no choice. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs announced today telehealth video appointments using VA Video Connect increased approximately 10,000 to 120,000 appointments a week before February and May of 2020. So, yeah, that's not particularly surprising. So, whatever. But when you don't have a choice, that tends to increase your numbers. Going over here to military.com, wanted to express my condolences to these two that were injured. Killed, actually, I'm sorry. One killed, another injured in a shooting and stabbing incident at the Camp Lejeune. That's very disappointing. There's too much violence, too much anger right now. This country's kind of going nuts. I guess some of you may have seen the address to the cadets at West Point. I thought that was pretty good. Some good-looking cadets coming out of there. I think we're going to have a good chance with our military looking at some of the people that are coming out of that. It should be a good deal. Plus, they're kind of a special year. The 2020 cadets actually had to go a full 48 months because of the sniffles. So they are going to be able to have those bragging rights, because all other classes before and probably continuing after only have to deal with 47 months. And in a military setting, I'm going to tell you a month is a long, long time when it's training. All right, so just that little tidbit. The head of the Naval Aviation Schools Command, another Navy pilot killed in a plane crash. Sorry to hear that. That was in Alabama, just north of me. Kind of sucks. New Army green uniform. Let's open that, see what it looks like. Because man, those digital BDUs they're nothing but a good punchline for a joke. But gotta wait for the flash. Wow, I got 17 people over here on YouTube, and I got 9 over here in D Live. Propus, thank you for the lemon. Appreciate you. I forget sometimes I have to open this thing back up. Pizza Patriot, thank you for the lemon. I get going on these articles and it covers everything up over here on D Live, so I got to remember to pull it back up so I can see you folks. But all right, so that has now finally opened. New Army green uniform will soon be available for soldiers to buy. Oh, would you look at that? That's actually kind of cool. That reminds me of the original Army Air Corps. I like it. Oh man. Well, you get your first set issued, but you have the option to buy anything after that. Would you look at that? That is just, man, they finally got one right. That's really cool. Like it. All right, so enough about that. I'm just blustering now. California Cricket, how are you? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, gotta wait for it to come back. All right, so that was a nice treat. The old Army Air Corps uniforms coming back. I really like those. They have an element of class. They when you're in your downtime, you're in your peacetime, you're chilling at the home front. It's nice to feel well dressed up when you're in uniform. And I think those uniforms from the Army Air Corps had a certain level of class. So that's pretty cool. I like it when good things come together. Boy, that was startling though when they said new uniforms. It's like, crap. I think it was a committee who decided on the digital BDUs, and the only thing that the digital BDUs are good for is that the Air Force folks are able to camouflage behind their computer screens real well. So those were good for that. And if you're Air Force, I'm sorry, that was a joke. I love you, nothing but brothers and sisters out there. So anyway, but it was funny. You got to admit that a little bit. And besides, if military guys can't razzle the feathers of our fellow compadres in other uniform services, then what the hell do we have to live for? Sometimes you got to cut loose. All right, let's see what else is going on. Oh, besides the cat and the dog arguing over a space. You guys are nuts. All right, big challenges to military health system will be delayed, top health official says. Yeah, well, everything's delayed. Now this one, this I'm going to have to say bothers me a little bit, and it'll probably come up in the guard news as well. Again, I'm waiting for it to pop up here. Oh yeah, Duh Viking Patriot. That's a good backup channel. I could probably do that. But I'm only half Viking. The other half is Apache. So like I say, I'm willing to kill you on land or at sea. It doesn't matter. I'm not prejudiced at all. Anyway, so it says Army ordered to review National Guard response to protests. Here's the number one problem I have with this. The National Guard were not allowed to respond to the protests. They were ordered to stand down. They were put in staging areas outside of the event. So if they start trying to hammer on the National Guard because the National Guard didn't respond, then I would hope, very much hope, that the Department of the Army or the Joint Chiefs or somebody stands up, slams a fist on the table, and says, "Oh, hell no," because you're not going to berate the uniformed services because of somebody else's lack of action or lack of balls to send them in to do a job. But on the other note, I am really bothered by uniformed personnel taking a knee to a realistically an aggressive force. This whole thing is a narrative. It's been created by the media. It's been created by the deep state. And to be in uniform and to take a knee to anybody is totally unacceptable. You would never take a knee for an enemy. I hope to God that would be so. So why are you taking a knee to another co-equal human being? It's beyond me. It won't happen. All right. So anybody else see the articles from National Guardsmen saying they were defending against the rioters? Social justice warriors have infiltrated the military. Unfortunately, that's something we are dealing with right now. That there are some softies getting into the military, and in 1989, I went through my basic, and right after the 89 ending of the 1989s, when they started softening the basic training, they're not allowed to touch you anymore. You're not allowed to have wall-to-wall counseling. They can't peck that round brown into the bridge of your nose while they're yelling into your face and spitting into your lips. So all those things, even though they're annoying as hell at the time, they're all specifically designed to condition you to deal with certain things. And, when something's not broke, you don't fix it. And that's the problem they've had, is by trying to fix things too much to the point where they break them. Anyway, so I want to get off of that article over there on National Guard, but I hope they don't start attacking the guardsmen because of the city leaders and the state leaders not doing their job. Let's see. An ex-Marine was wounded 7 times after deputy feared being dragged by the car. That doesn't even read right. I don't know what that means. Let's see. South Korea urges North Korea to uphold deals amid rising animosity. And yeah, I'm watching that going on over there. North Korea is twitching. It's kind of like the dead body that's been laying there for a while, and all of a sudden the involuntary muscle spasms start happening and the body starts twitching. Well, that's what North Korea is doing right now. You watch them doing a line dance with the protesters. Okay, well, I'm okay with that, really, because they are part of the community. And protests, again, I have no problem with a protest. Jump up and down, scream, wave your flag, rah, rah, ree, all that stuff. We're allowed to do that. That's this country. It's the violence that I can't accept. And it's the kneeling to you're not kneeling to the people, you're kneeling to the overlords that are controlling this whole narrative. So that's where I really had the issue. You will not get me on my knees unless I'm not breathing. It won't happen. I mean, you may beat me to the ground, and even if you break my legs and I know I'm going to die and you're going to take me out, I don't care. I will find a way to get back up. I will be on my feet when it happens. It's just, you won't get that out of me. That satisfaction will never come. So whatever. Did you see the active duty airman who killed a Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Sergeant? No, I didn't. I've been trying to keep up, but things have been, there's been so much going on. Trying to keep up specifically with the military activity, and every weekend getting a little bit ready for my show and, getting ready to set up and do all that. And then realizing that the weather is going to rain me out, it kind of has derailed my progress. But anyway, so going over here to Military Times, General Milley, I think you guys know about the deal where he says it was probably a mistake for him to do that walk across the street with the president. And I'm hearing two different sides of the story, and I'm going to give you mine. The one thing he says, the military, especially military brass, should not be in politics. The technicality of that is every time you go to war, you're in politics. So, double-edged sword, but here's the deal. If a military flag officer looks to be favoring one side of an ideology or another, then the members of the military forces that are on the other side of that ideology will be set aback a little bit, and it'll be difficult for them to deal with their flag officer supporting somebody that they may not have great respect for. Whatever. American Mindbender, how you doing? And Darlene, welcome. So again, going back to the kneeling for the ideology and the overlords, that's political, and that I cannot deal with. General Milley walking with the president is technically political. I understand the statement that was attempted to be made there, but I can also understand his point when he says it was probably a bad idea. So again, it's a very gray area. It's a little bit hard to jump on one side or the other of the subject, but I'm going to say that a good part of me supports what he says. And, that I'm just going to have to leave it at that, because everybody will have their own opinion on it. I don't think General Milley's a bad guy. I believe he's really got a good head on his shoulders, and that he's done well for the country. General Mattis has been a true disappointment. I'm concerned about these flag officers that are starting to turn on the president. They feel like they've been turned on, like they've been waiting in the wings to do their part to try to complete the coup. But I just have to hope with all of my being that General Milley is not part of that deal. From what I've seen, he seems to be a straight shooter and a decent guy. So anyway, we'll leave that now with Milley, and that's just my opinion on it. If your opinion varies, I'd like to hear it. Leave a comment, do whatever you want to do. But that's just where I stand on it. So anyway, so there is some progress being made towards moving military out of Germany. So not much. We're just kind of waiting to see how that's going to be. As far as renaming military bases, they can kiss my ass. That's all I got to say about that. All right, I'm just looking to see if there's any jaw-dropping headline that needs to be discussed over here on Military Times. Let's see. Marine recruits helping provide insight into the sniffles. Researchers are hoping to identify an immunity passport to determine when it's safe for troops to return to duty. Well, it's safe now. They have hydroxychloroquine. And then if you're in the military and you get deployed to an area like Panama or, somewhere in a tropical environment, you're going to have hydroxychloroquine. It's just the way it is. So they've got it. They just needed to use it. Go get your coffee and cream. Yeah, I will. Very shortly. I don't use cream in my coffee or sugar. I don't want to break my coffee. I just want to drink it. You got to get your creamer. I want to live. It's a long night of sleep. Uh, that's a risk I don't want to take. Uh, okay, here you go. California cricket. This is. Let me pull this up because you just brought it up and I just found it. So, want to go ahead and look into it. Yeah, quinine didn't bother us at all. No, it didn't. It's absolutely, I mean, really, it's one of the most benign medications. It's just harmless. All right, so this is it here. It says a report airman suspected of killing a deputy wrote violent extremist message in blood. Now, are we going to have to do a psychological profile on people before they can join the military? Because we're starting to see that there's an infiltration of our military of some serious crazy son of a bitches. Page unresponsive. Yeah, well, wait, shut up. Anyway, it's going to keep yelling at me. All right, so that is that story. The writing is very, very small. It says in this Sunday, June 7th, 2020, booking mugshot courtesy of Santa Cruz Sheriff's Office shows 32-year-old suspect Stephen Carrillo, an active duty U.S. Air Force sergeant, arrested on suspicion of fatally shooting Santa Cruz Sheriff Sergeant Damon Gutzwiller, 38, and wounding two other officers Saturday, Santa Cruz Sheriff's Office via Associated Press. All right, so take a good look at him. You're not going to see him again. This dude's going to be going to Gitmo, and he's going to be staying there until he is suspected of killing that federal security officer in Oakland, too. No shit. Well, like I said, he is going to Gitmo. I got a feeling everybody is getting paid big money to do all this caca. Darlene, you are probably right. If we could have a way to do it, following the money, that would do it. PTSD, I would only say there's a slight possibility. PTSD doesn't, maybe it's not a trigger that will make you go out and indiscriminately just start killing people. Usually there has to be an immediate trigger that sets you off. But if I was just to guess, I would say that this was a premeditation, that this guy has a certain hostility towards law enforcement, and that he is probably pretty aggressive to begin with in that respect. But the PTSD a lot of times is, I think it's misused in some cases, because a lot of times, like with somebody who has PTSD, they it's an immediate reaction to an event that happens at that moment. You end up getting in a fight with somebody, and you go too far. You beat them to death, and that's kind of what happens. It's hard to turn off once you get that rage built up. I should have done a video on it. I need to keep you guys informed of what is going on out here. Yeah, do it. What are you sitting over there for? Get it done. Good leaf. Huh? Yeah, it's Santa Cruz. Yeah, I used to go there and go skating in the skate parks. All right, so that's where I'm going to leave it on the military times. And I'm going to finish this one up. Where are we right now? Yeah, it's going to work out. I'm going to finish this one up with the Guard news, because, as you know, there's a lot going on with our National Guard right now. So I want to bring up the Guard news and see just what's going on. All right. The 245th birthday celebrated today by the National Guard in New York. That's cool. Fort Indiantown Gap scaling up operations. So they're getting back to work at the military bases, which is a good thing. Yeah, I got to reposition myself. Um, you crazy, Holmes? Orale, vacho. What's happening, man? Don't be talking to me like that, because I come over there and I put a stick in you, man. But anyway, Alabama, Romania strengthen ties through COVID-19 response. All right. That's in Montgomery. Something smells kind of hot. Um, Alabama, Romania says June 12th, 2020, Montgomery, Alabama. The Alabama National Guard hosted a delegation of civilian and military personnel from its partner nations, Romania, from the end of May through early June. The visit was part of something. Anyway, put that out. So I want to see what that's about there. Open that one up for just a second. We gotta wait for the video to come up. Let me get over here and check on my folks over here on D-Live. Sergeant Bob, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for that lemon. Forest Garden just followed me. Thank you for that. Pizza Patriot, another lemon. Appreciate you. Just checking over here to see what I got going while I'm waiting on that thing to come up. All right. Now it's up. So let's see over here what we got going. Montgomery, Alabama, the National Guard hosted a delegation of civilian and military personnel from the partner nation, Romania, from the end of May through early June. The visit was part of the National Guard Bureau's state partnership program, which allows for the exchange of knowledge and experience between states and partnered nations. Working with Romania increases our readiness and improves how we can work together within our individual capabilities, said Lieutenant Colonel J. Skinner. The command, judge, advocate, and delegation visit escort with the 31st Chemical, Biological, Radiological, and Nuclear Brigade. The delegation made up of CBRN and medical specialists, split into the two teams. One group went south towards Mobile and the other north to Montgomery. Switching halfway through the mission, they visited guard units, long-term care facilities, and hospitals across the state, discussing medical emergency and sniffles response strategies, best practiced, and standard operating procedures. We in Romania value the long-standing, enduring friendship we have established with the Alabama National Guard, and this mission, executed by the Romanian medical and CBRN military teams, signifies not only an opportunity to give a concrete proof of solidarity and support to the USA, our most important strategic partner, but also to gain valuable knowledge on how the state of Alabama is dealing with the pandemic, said Romanian Army Colonel Captain Constantin Mihalaci, Defense, Military, Naval, and Air Attache of Embassy of Romania. All right, well, I guess that's cool. Rooster Cogburn, how you doing? Yes, he was. Remember, it's not his fault. The officer tried to do his duty. Let's see MSN nowadays. Oh, yeah. He was trained in anti-terror techniques and bomb tactics. He ambushed that deputy and two others. That's pretty spooky. Should have done a video on it. Yep, you should have. Okay, I'm caught up. I just thought you might have put something over there. Have you used your white privilege today? Yeah, well, you gotta lay it down out there once in a while. I lost mine. I think I had it in my other wallet, and I set it down, and I don't know where the hell it went. So my white privilege is no longer in existence. It was stolen. Let's see. West Virginia Guard, Peruvian military share best COVID practices. Here's my problem, and it's not racist. It's based on actual documented information. Every time we go into partners with a foreign country and help train their personnel, give them our weapons, do all these kind of things, it just seems like clockwork. All of a sudden we end up going to war with them, and then we're fighting people that have, a similar skill set and all of our same weapons. We end up fighting our own gear. And this has happened over and over and over again. And part of nationalism, and not the racist part, is kind of keeping your military tactics, capabilities, and operations close to the vest, even with your allies. You don't give away your secrets to people just because they say they're your friend. Because after they've gotten everything they need, then they go and turn on you and say, oh, yeah, what are you going to do? And then you got to go fight your own equipment. I think that's part of the horseshit that happens with the banker-controlled wars that always happen. So, Chris Link, how you doing? And the Bubba News, welcome. All right, so that is pretty much what I've got for this particular episode number 42 of Inside Veterans Affairs. And I do need to, Invader Zim, how you doing? I do need to make a mad dash to the grocery store to make sure I have creamer for coffee in the morning and a few other little things. But it's dangerous around here without coffee, and even more dangerous if I have coffee and she doesn't. So we're just not going to have that risk. But anyway, thank you very much to everybody who chose to hang out with me tonight for this episode. And I'm glad to be back doing it. Oh, man, it's been a while. Thank you to my moderators. You guys rock the joint, keeping the house in order. Appreciate everybody over there on D-Live to drop your lemons, ice creams, and diamonds. That is very cool of you, and I appreciate it. And thank you to everybody except for California Critic, because, he doesn't count. Cricket, excuse me. Also, California Cricket, make sure you get on those videos, because it's up to you to keep us in the loop on California, because they are morons over there, some of them, you excluded partially. But, we got to make sure that you get us the information, because Pete does the best he can, but, it's a struggle for him. So, oh crap, Pete's still in here. Never mind. I didn't mean to say that, Pete. I was actually referring to you being one of the best sources of information for California there. Anyhow, I'm going to let that be it for tonight. Love you guys. And I am buffering. Yeah, I'm buffering. I get it's. Some people get it, some people don't. All right, y'all. I hope you got some good information out of this, and we'll see you next weekend on another episode of Inside Veterans Affairs. See you tomorrow afternoon with some good weather, and Pete and I will have a panel show, so that should be fun. What?
Georgia said that Pete's been angry.
Oh, yeah, Pete's always angry. It's the meds.
Oh, he hates California.
Yeah. Believe me, Pete, if we could, I would get an army together. We'd come over there and we'd pack up you, your family, everybody else, and load up some trucks and get you all out of there. And then you couldn't say, well, your family's there, you got to stay there. You just replant you guys somewhere else. All right. Thank you very much, you guys, and stay in the fight.